Down. Georgia Congressman Austin Scott sits on several of the most important House committees, including Intelligence and Agriculture. And he joins us now to talk about all that's going on in Washington. The final day is a very dramatic moment. Congressman, good to have you back on the show. A lot going on. I want to start with the negotiations. Senator Lankford seems to have a deal out there that would still let 5,000 illegal aliens come into the country if the reports are true. Where are things behind the scenes? What are you hearing, and where do you stand on that?
Yeah, well, one is we're not going to be pushed into a bad deal, and if we're allowing 5,000 people to come in illegally, that's not a good deal. I'm not sure that that's an accurate number. Lankford's a great guy. Very interested in seeing the final language on it. But let's remember this. If Biden had not reversed what Donald Trump had done, we would not have had the flow of illegal immigrants that we've had into the country in the last 3 years. So Biden has the ability to put Remain in Mexico and other measures back in place right now to stop a lot of the flow of illegal immigration. And so he's looking for an excuse to do it so that has some protection from his left flank, because he's not, he's not the most decisive person that we've ever had as president of the United States. So he could simply go back to the Trump era policies from 3 years ago and stop at least that much illegal immigration coming into the country. And I heard Senator Tuberville on your show a little earlier. I mean, every illegal immigrant that comes into this country has got a cost to the U.S. taxpayer, and the American citizens that are out there working every day. Very unfair to them to be, putting that fiscal burden on the U.S. citizens that are out there working hard every day.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's right. Yeah, and it begs the question, why hasn't Secretary Mayorkas answered questions? He has been given chance after chance after chance, and now Homeland Security Chairman Mark Green has said, listen, please show up or at least submit a written testimony. It seems to me that he's been given way too many chances. But what are your thoughts on that? How do you handle it?
Well, I don't like this guy. I want to take you back a couple of years ago. If you remember when he accused our Border Patrol agents of whipping people who were illegally coming into the country, he knew less than 24 hours later that his accusations against those agents were flat out lies that he was telling about them. And he continued to put those agents through the ringers. And so there was a picture that was taken the picture did not show what was actually happening on the ground. The secretary changed the context of what the Border Patrol agents were doing. Even the person who took the photograph said that Secretary Mayorkas's representation of the picture was not accurate. And this guy continued to, put those men and women through the ringer that are out there doing the best they can to do their job to protect the citizens of this country from people who are violating our laws. And so the people who are coming here illegally, they don't share our interests, they don't share our values, and the Border Patrol agents are out there doing their job. And this guy knowingly and willingly tarnished and continued to attack those agents even after he knew that his accusations were false. So that's the type of person that you're talking about here. The agents don't trust him. The American citizens can't trust him. I hope that we impeach him. I will tell you our challenge is when you have a 2-seat margin in the House of Representatives, as we have right now, it's just very hard to get the votes on the floor of the House to do anything.
Yeah, it is. It's such a narrow margin. On that front, obviously there is a need for a temporary spending deal to kick the can down the road while these issues are worked out. Will that get done before the end of the week, or are we in danger of a shutdown?
No, I think it gets done. The vast majority of us in the Republican Party will vote for this. We're going to support Speaker Johnson. I think Mike's done a good job since he's been the Speaker of the House. We've got a couple of people out there that are attacking him. That was to be expected. They attacked Boehner, they attacked McCarthy, they attacked Johnson, they attack whoever our Republican leadership is. Unfortunately, these are people inside the Republican Party. And, some of these people just a few months ago had sworn a blood oath to never vote for a continuing resolution, that now they seem to have a blood oath to only vote for a long-term continuing resolution. So he's got his challenges in dealing with people that, continue to move the football the way Lucy does in the old Charlie Brown cartoons, but he's done a good job as Speaker. He's a good man, and if given the chance, he'll be a good leader of the House of Representatives. Unfortunately, there's just a small faction of the Republican Party that's just going to continue to, honestly, John and Amanda, they're engaging in guerrilla warfare against him, just as they did against Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been incredible to watch. And something that I also think has been incredible is that since practically day one of this administration, there have been reversals on a number of things that have ultimately ended up hurting the American people. Literally day one, shutting down XL Pipeline, the revoking of land leases for oil extraction. But month one is when Joe Biden, I believe it was February something, when Joe Biden lifted the GTO designation of Ansar Allah. He has since reversed that, and the phrase "cutting off your nose to spite your face" is what comes to mind when I think of these reversals of the Biden administration from Trump policies. But what does this redesignation of the Houthis as a global terrorist organization do? What does it allow us to expand if there is some?
Well, he's straddling the fence with it. I mean, he went halfway. I mean, this is what he does on every decision. The first time that they attacked, whether it was a U.S. ship or somebody who is a friend or an ally of ours, the first time they attacked a ship was the first time we should have sent a rocket in there and made sure they understood that this is not going to be accepted. And so Biden allowed this to go on and on and on and on, and then, does a halfway designation of them before, he waited months to attack them. And so the first time they sent a rocket in was the first time we should have sent a rocket back. And this is the most indecisive president that we've ever had. He's straddling the fence again. His whole administration is like this. I mean, if you look at what Mike Pompeo said, and when Mike was head of CIA and Secretary of State, we didn't have indecisiveness like this in the Trump administration. Part of it was Mike, part of it was Trump. I mean, both great guys that I certainly hope Mike will have a role to play in the Trump administration, assuming the election goes as we expect it to. But we can't be indecisive and be the global leader from a security standpoint. I mean, the president's weak. He looks weak. The public knows it. The people around the world know it. And so they're going to continue to attack us as long as we allow it. Yeah.
You're exactly right. Sir, Taiwan's in a more difficult position than when before President Biden took over. Some of its allies peeling off it. An important election. The people of Taiwan want to resist China. That's what the election message was this past weekend. But America's commitment to Taiwan seems to be a little dubious right now. Can you tell us how important it is to support democracy in Taiwan?
Well, it is absolutely important to support democracy in Taiwan. And let me say this. Part of this gets back to corporate America. Now, I was proud of corporate America when Russia attacked Ukraine for what they did in pulling their businesses out of Russia. But we need corporate America to stop pandering to the Chinese. Now they do it, and then we buy the products inside the stores. And in many cases, you don't have a choice other than to buy something from China. But we need American industry to be bringing stuff back to America if possible, the Western Hemisphere if not possible to bring it back to America, and certainly to be doing manufacturing outside of China. If you got to be in Asia, let's go to Vietnam. Let's go to the Philippines. Let's go to countries that are not our enemy other than China. And so Taiwan recognizes the threat that China is, and they are in their backyard. China is no longer an aggressive economic competitor. They are an adversary, and we as the citizens of this country have got to press our retailers to buy things from places outside of China so that we have choices when we walk into the store. And then we, as the people who are selected to govern in this country, have got to be smarter about what we do. I mean, this whole thing with solar panels and electric cars and all that played right into the supply chain and the Chinese agenda. And this is all coming from the Biden administration. And so, America's better than this. We're smarter than this. And when we get a new administration, hopefully we'll be able to break some of those ties that we have that have been forced on us, not just by American retailers, but by, bad decisions being made over environmental policy at the White House.
Yeah, it's so important. And you've been sounding the siren on that for a long time, sir. I think America's caught on. We just got to get the political system to catch on now. Great to have you on, sir. Always an honor. We learned so much from you. Thanks for your time today.